Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to post the links, and then we can get started. Hello and welcome everyone to round number 2 here at FPSL at the Autodromo Hermanos Rica circuit at the Mexican Grand Prix. This circuit, located in Mexico City, made its spectacular debut in 1963 with two-time world champion Jim Clark winning the first and winning 2 more to still hold the record of the single most victories around the circuit. The Grand Prix took some time off from F1 but recently made a comeback in 2015 with numerous changes, 20 turns, 2 DRS zones that make up this 4.304 kilometer track. Overtaking for a round here is going to be especially hard down into turn 1, as in 2017, Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton are all battling for the lead of the race. Hamilton eventually won his 4th world title at that race in 2017, but got a puncture at turn 1, 2, and 3. So overtaking for a round there is going to be very difficult, as it proved in 2017. But I mean, it's an absolutely phenomenal spot, as we see the Red Bull right there just coming through the spot I'm just talking about, turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. Another overtaking spot would be into the second DRS and the shorter of the two into turn 4 and possibly 5 and 6. 2016 proved that with another moment between Verstappen, Vettel, and this time Ricciardo, and the 2 teammates at Red Bull trying to get past the Ferrari, but there was controversy over Verstappen and Vettel, as Verstappen went wide and did not give the position back to Vettel. Vettel was furious on the radio, saying that he needs to give the position back. Both of them actually got penalties later in the race that put Ricciardo onto the podium. 3 dry tire compounds will be used for today's race. The hard tire, the slowest of the 3, the white stripe hard tire, of course, used mostly for long distance runs and for testing as well, if you want to get a good lap around the circuit and stuff like that, kind of get used to the circuit itself. Medium tire, medium of the 3 dry compounds. The yellow striped tire, mostly used for strategy, so we're probably going to see that around here. It's definitely a 2-stop strategy if you can make those tires last as long as they can. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to see the mediums here today. The fastest of the 3, though, the soft tire, red striped tire. We're going to see that mostly in qualifying, as most of our drivers here today are putting on the soft tire. Of course, is the fastest tire of the 3 and the fastest of all the tire compounds for the entire weekend. So it's gonna be interesting to see what these drivers put on for tire strategy as well. We're definitely thinking of a 2-stop strategy, I think, for around here, and it's also, the soft tires are also great to see some great action in the pit lane as well, because the soft tires are they degrade the fastest out of the 5 tire compounds, or the 3 dry tire compounds. So we're definitely going to see some early pit stops from drivers that put on the soft tires. If we're going to see a wet race here today, and I hopefully do, gives a little bit more of a exciting thrill to the race and see different sort of conditions. Of course, we won't be seeing any of the dry compounds. Now, there's going to be 2 different types of compounds for the wet. The intermediate tire, the light compound tire, the green striped intermediate, of course, used mostly for light conditions out there. And yeah, so if the circuit is starting to rain a little bit, or it's just a little bit of a rain, a little bit of drizzle out there, they use the intermediate tire. For a heavier condition out there, we're definitely going to see the fastest. We're probably going to see the wet tire, the blue stripe tire. So we'll have to see how that goes, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm Broomhandle914. Today we are here for round number 2 at the Autodromo Hermanos Rica circuit for the Mexican Grand Prix. Round number 2 here. A lot of drivers are going at it at the moment. We have a Williams driver at the moment in front. There is a little bit of glitch right now with the standings right there. I'm not exactly sure where it went. and I can't really bring it up, so hopefully we can get that back in. We got the full track map. Let me see if I can get back, and I can't get any tires. For some reason, there's a slight glitch there. I'm trying my best to get the standings back. I'm not exactly sure where it is at all, but it's completely gone on my screen. Not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe if I do this. No, it doesn't do anything. So, a slight glitch there. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully we'll come back. Hopefully we can get it back in here. But there is a small glitch there. So I'm going to have to rely on what I see out on track. But the standings right now are completely gone. Not exactly sure where that happened at all. I'm trying my best to figure out what's going on. But, yeah, at the moment, we can't look at anything. I can't even... I don't know what's going on. Okay, here we go. Riding on board with the Ferrari right now. So maybe the standings will come back. I'm not sure. Guys, sorry about that. There's this little glitch there. I may need to restart the stream. I'm not exactly sure. This kind of interrupted the stream, so sorry about that. I can do all this. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I just had to click one button. Anyway, alright, it's back. Sorry about that, guys. Quick little, I guess I messed up there. I think that might have been my fault, so sorry about that. Must have clicked a button on there. But anyway, we are back. We got Cam, I do believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's on the AlphaTauri team right now. A 113.7. That is a massively quick lap from the AlphaTauri team right there. Just behind him, though, is Super Gamer in the Mercedes car with only about 4 1,000ths of a second in between those two drivers. Further down, about a 10th down, is Viper Kinge, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Guys, by the way, for pronunciations, I'm not the best, so sorry about that. That's how it goes. But with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining in the session, we're looking for a phenomenal qualifying to end here for this round here. Of course, round number 2 here today. The last time out, I couldn't stream because there was a little bit of a glitch with the servers, so apologies for that. But we are back here at Mexico, of course. Beautiful track, as I said before. That's been changed over the years from when it first started in 1963 all the way up to today's Grand Prix. Of course, we won't be seeing a 2020 Grand Prix because of the COVID-19 pandemic. That's how it goes, though. It's life, so I have to deal with it. But yeah, the last Grand Prix was won by Lewis Hamilton in 2019. Of course, Max Verstappen before that was dominating with Red Bull back in 2017 and 18. And of course, Lewis Hamilton just showed up. It was like, okay, I'm taking over. And then he did the rising through on the podium. That was a pretty cool scene. But yeah, the Mexico Grand Prix, of course, a lot of different types of turns, like I said before in the intro. Overtaking around here is going to be very interesting to watch because we've seen numerous crashes before in Formula 1 history and on virtual games as well. I've crashed many times myself, but the thing is that we have a very long straight, and this is a great track for seeing some of these these overtaking spots, because I'll talk about that right now. So the front stretch is an absolutely phenomenal section, because when you start off the Grand Prix, you're almost 4 or 5 wide in that section, and that's kind of where the chaos kind of starts, because when you're going 4 wide into a corner, definitely can't do that. So maybe we'll see some I think what we're gonna definitely see on the race start is see a difference between drivers, a lot of position changes at the start. So we'll have to see how that goes. We're really looking forward to it. But for qualifying, we just had Super Gamer jump the AlphaTauri there and just went a 13.6, and then he's just been beaten by Rida. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's in the Renault car with a 113.6. About 3 1,000ths of a second between them, so it's showing that qualifying is absolutely so close, and it just proves it, because I mean, you just got to go for a certain amount of gap, and I mean, you got to be absolutely precise with every single moment. It's not about just making a quick mistake. Oh no, that's if you make a quick mistake, then it's sometimes okay, but with qualifying, you got to be able to have all 100% focus, because you're going for the absolute limit. You got to be absolutely precise with every single corner you go into, because even just the millisecond the millisecond of a mistake could mess up your entire lap. And yeah, that's how crucial it is to get a good lapper around here. But it is Rida in the Renault on pole position here today, with Super Gamer in the second place Mercedes car. And then we got Cam in the AlphaTauri sitting in third position, rounding off the top 3. Great position from all our drivers here today. It looks like a lot of drivers have started on the medium tires as well. Actually, that's only 2 drivers on the grid, so interesting strategy choice, and that is Vapor Knuth, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's in the Red Bull car for, of course, Red Bull in 13th position on the medium tire, the highest of the 2 drivers, and of course, rounding off the entire grid, it's all Soppy in the, I do believe he was an Alfa Romeo, or it could have been Racing Point. I couldn't figure that out. I think that was Alfa Romeo. It changed the screen right before I could see what team he's at, but he's at 19th position, starting on the medium tire. So those 2 will probably go for a 2-stop strategy. Speaking of strategies, and I just actually noticed it's hopefully it will be a rain race, because look at the clouds, completely cloudy. Are we going to see rain in this race? It's possible. We'll have to see. That will change the entire strategy going forward. But what's going to be interesting is strategy right now, because of course, not raining right now, so we're going to have to see the dry tire compounds. Now, let's talk about strategy for this race. Now, it's a very long race, and it also depends on what type of distance you run. I do believe we're running 50%. That's kind of how most of these leagues work. So it's about 34, 36 laps in between there. I can't have the precise amount of laps, but I do believe it is in between 34 and 36. So with that amount, and also degradation with the circuit as well, there's a lot of degradation that can happen. Tire strategy could be very crucial, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised seeing a 3-stop strategy, and that's something we never really see in Formula 1 and in gaming and all that sort of thing. But it's definitely possible around Mexico. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I think the dominant strategy for all these guys is the 2-stop strategy. We'll have to see how that goes for everyone. I'm going to quickly get the tire graph on here. Here we go. All right, so a few drivers are starting on the hards and the mediums. We'll have to run down the grid and see how that goes. So let's quickly do a rundown of the 19 drivers that will start today. Rydia in the Renault car starts on pole position for the soft tires, and for Renault F1 team, he's got Super Gamer alongside him, the Mercedes, in 2nd position. The AlphaTauri of Cam starts alongside Kinj in the Alfa Romeo. The 2 Alpha teams start 3rd and 4th on the 2nd row of the grid. Cussel GT in the McLaren lines up along Snook Sir in the Racing Point looking to challenge McLaren as they do in the real Formula 1 Grand Prix, so they're looking really strong in 5th and 6th position. Rins in the Ferrari car lines up alongside James in the other Ferrari-powered Haas car this time. Of course, Ferrari works team ahead of the Haas team that's powered by a Ferrari engine. That's good to see. But of course, those 2 drivers will probably be going at it in the race as we move down to the 5th row of the grid. We got Sam UK in the Williams car ahead of the big constructor Mercedes car of Vapor Trench in the Mercedes, of course. He's in a Williams sandwich because Vapor Shea is alongside F1 Button's back. 22, he must be a fan of Jenson Button in the Red Bull car. So all 4 of those drivers looking strong on the 5th and 6th rows of the grid. The other Red Bull, Vapor and Knuth in the other Red Bull, both drivers starting the medium tire on great strategies, I do believe. He's alongside Jay Prentice in the other Racing Point F1 team, starting 14th. Round 12 in the Haas car starts 15th. He's disqualified for the formation lap. He'll rejoin us in the race, though, and he's got Joe in the Ferrari alongside him. Of course, in 7th and 8th position is Ferrari ahead of Haas. This time it's Haas ahead of Ferrari. Moving on the rest of the grid, we got Trixie in the McLaren lining up alongside Fash in the Alfa Romeo. And rounding off the top 19 drivers here today is all Soppy. Looks like the formation lap is about to end. We're getting ready for the lights out for this Mexican Grand Prix. It's going to be a phenomenal race. 36 laps await us with Renault on pole, Mercedes alongside him, AlphaTauri as well. It's going to be a phenomenal race going forward. 19 drivers here today, 36 laps await us. Mexican Grand Prix, here we come. Lights out, and away we go. And it's a great start, looks like, for the Mercedes driver right there, Super Gamer. You got a great start. The McLaren as well looks to get a good start as well to try and get ahead of the other drivers. Almost 3-4 wide into turn 1 now. Lots of drivers looking to get ahead of each other, but the Renault looks to get ahead, but the Mercedes of Super Gamer looks to challenge him. He goes very wide in that section. A lot of chaos at the back as well. Looks like the McLaren of Castle moves up to 3rd position there. The AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo are swapping positions as well, but what a crazy start to this Grand Prix. Looks like there's a massive collision at the back. That looks like one of the Williams cars, and that is a Williams car. That's one of them out of the race. 2 Williams, and that also looks like, I thought it was a puncture for both of the Williams cars. But that is Sam out of the race. Virtual safety car has been called out. But what a horrible start for the 2 Williams cars. They're out, and one of them out of the race. Vapor Shea in 18th has massive wing damage, and it looked like he had a puncture there. Doesn't look like he he's gonna, it doesn't look like he does have the puncture though, just from that angle. It looked like he did, but it's Rida that still leads this Grand Prix from Super Gamer. Kessel GT moving up to 3rd position for McLaren F1, looking really strong. Vapier and Cam in the Romeo and the AlphaTauri looking strong as well. As look at this, Sam's looking to overtake the Renault, gets a tighter exit off the corner into the grandstand section as now the Super GT, Super Gamer, sorry, got that mixed up there. Super Gamer looking to get ahead. GT is also looking to get ahead as well. There's a quick little timing, there's a little standing issues there as some of the drivers moving up and down the grid. We've seen that before in other leagues. So sorry about that. That's how it goes. Hopefully Codemasters can fix that quite soon. But the battle for the lead has continued on quite a bit. I'm trying to get, it looks like the AlphaTauri is just right behind him. Yeah, that looks like Cam. I think he's in 4th position. It's really hard to see exactly who's in what position. But we do have Vapor Shea into the pits as well. So interesting strategy there. I think he had a lot of damage as well. So he's pitting on lap 3. So unfortunately Williams having a hard day out there. Hopefully they can get back in the race with their single driver. Looks like the AlphaTauri of Nazol Cam, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not very good with pronunciations, as I've said before, so sorry about that, guys. But yeah, he's in 4th position looking to overtake Kessel as he gets a better exit out of that corner. Kessel goes very wide there and now invites the AlphaTauri to go around the outside of the McLaren, and he kind of pinches into that corner. Oh, and they made contact! They made contact! The McLaren is round! And that is a massive disappointment there. He was running up in top 3. Kessel GT now moves way down the positions, having to spin around the car, and is now way behind his teammate as well, down to 16th. Major contact for the AlphaTauri and the McLaren. Now he's got the other AlphaTauri right behind him, so Kessel really having a hard time out there on lap 3. We also have a move by Snooker Stir 007 in the Racing Point car. He's looking to overtake the Alpha. The Alpha comes back at him side by side into turn 1, possibly turn 2 and 3. We don't see this action very often. Here we go. They're still side by side, almost banging wheels there, but they don't. The Alfa Romeo gets a nice move out of that corner there. Look how close he's getting to that Racing Point, using the overtake possibly, and he goes for the dive bomb to the inside, kind of pushes the Racing Point wide, but fair play to both drivers, going side by side. This is incredible racing between these two drivers, still side by side into turn 6, the awkward little corner there as you come down into the S6 section. It looks like the Alfa Romeo has to slot right behind the Racing Point. We also have a move by Flash and Trixie. They're the two Alfa Romeo and the McLaren car looking to swap positions there. Of course, the McLaren is faster on those soft compound tires. Of course, the Alfa Romeo is on the hard, so the battle between the top positions here for 4th position is looking mighty strong between Snook Steer in the Racing Point and Vapier Kin in the Alfa Romeo. James as well is joined by Ryans in the Ferrari and the Red Bull, and the Mercedes looks to be coming in the rear as well. So this is a fantastic battle going forward. Look at the Alfa Romeo though. DRS has been enabled. I'm going to try and get telemetry on so I can see if he has enough ERS. Looks like he does. He's not using it. He's waiting for the next corner. They're going to go side by side in a section. Looks like this is a McLaren that may have just spun. That looks to be Kessel. He's having a hard few laps out there, but look at this. The Alfa Romeo gets past the Racing Point. What a fantastic move from them. A little bit of a swerve at the back of the table by Racing Point. And it looks like the Ferrari and the Haas gets past them easily. Ryan's already up to 5th position. James looks to get ahead as well, but now he's challenging the Ferrari. Meanwhile, the Alfa Romeo of King is already up to 4th position and pulling away from this. And the Racing Point of Snook Steer really lost out to that. I think he wasn't in the detection point for DRS. He was ahead of the Alfa Romeo at the time, so massively lost out because everyone else behind had a power boost because of the ERS. Now, he looks to be kind of struggling, though, because look at this. Knutson, the Red Bull, is right behind him. DRS has been enabled for the Red Bull car. He's got full ERS. He has the ability to overtake this Racing Point and get ahead. Meanwhile, the battle at the top is kind of wind down a little bit. Cam is still looking to overtake the Mercedes car. I'm actually going to ride on board with him and see if he can do this. The gap between 1st and 2nd, though, 2 seconds. So Super Gamer is losing a little bit of time. Cam with the DRS is looking to get ahead. Looks like the Ferrari of Ryan has got ahead of the Alfa Romeo and moving back to the top positions, the 2nd and 3rd. Cam can't get past quite yet. He's going to probably wait for the next DRS zone to come up. Look at this. Is he going to use the overtake? No, not yet. That's a smart move because you want to make sure that you want to charge that ERS. You don't want to use it completely and just have a drained ERS. You want to kind of play it safe and see how that goes. The battle between 4th and 5th position has kind of calmed down as well. Ryan's already at the 4th position, looking really strong in that Ferrari car versus the Alfa. It's actually a Ferrari-powered 4, 5, 6 for the different teams, though, all powered by Ferrari, and of course, the Ferrari Works team in 4th, the Alfa Romeo team in 5th, powered by Ferrari, and the Haas team, powered by Ferrari as well, James in 6th position. But he's got a challenging racing point. He has claimed back from that position. So let's quickly talk about Snookster in the racing point car. And I also want to talk about the Red Bull just behind him as well, and both Red Bulls, in fact. So Snookster is having a hard time out there at the start. I think it was due to that DRS, that no DRS, and so he didn't have DRS for the first 2 DRS straights. And yeah, and so he wasn't able to use all the he wasn't able to get past some of these guys. These guys are kind of just able to waltz by him because they had the DRS. Looks like James and now Jay Prentice just got into the pits now for a new set of soft tires. And look at that, we also have Cam battling away with Super Gamer there, and almost spins there. That puts Super Gamer with a great exit out of the corner, but now Cam has got the ERS, he's got the DRS, but actually he's got barely any DRS. But look at this, battling away side by side into turn 4 and turn 5. You can get nice switchbacks here. Doesn't look like he can do that though, and Cam gets past the Mercedes. An excellent move by the AlphaTauri, but you got to remember, Super Gamer has the ERS to play with, and Cam doesn't really have that, so Super is going to want to get the move quite soon. He's going to have to stay consistently all over the back of the AlphaTauri as he comes up to the next and the 3rd DRS zone. And guys, before we continue on with the race, I did want to mention something, a little mistake by my part. In the intro, I did say there was only 2 DRS zones. There's actually 3. They recently added that in this year's game, so apologies for that. There is 3 DRS zones, very small though, as we have a spin. That looks like, is that a McLaren? That is another McLaren. I think that was either Kesu GT, who was running up in top 3 after that contact with Cam down some positions. We got Ryan's in the pits for Scuderia Ferrari. He's going to get overtaken by the Red Bull there, and will he come out ahead of James though? That's going to be interesting. I'm going to ride on board with the Haas car. He's just coming through the grandstand section, but now kind of taking an easy route, which is very interesting. He's using the ERS. Looks like he has cold tires. Looks like a cold conditions out there. The cold tires out there. Looks like the Ferrari just gets past the Haas. The Haas wants to get the slipstream though, but it just can't make the move quite yet, so he's going to have to wait to make the move. Meanwhile, battle at the top. The battle for the positions up here. We just had Knuth in the Red Bull car move up to 4th position, and I want to quickly talk about Red Bull. I want to quickly talk about Knuth in particular, and also his teammate Button's back as well. Both Red Bulls looking really strong, and what's interesting too is that they're on the medium tire, which is going to take them for quite some time, so they are a serious threat in this race. Of course, Honda-powered AlphaTauri team Cam is just ahead, and it looks like Knuth has special, he's got some pace on those medium tires, which is very interesting. You would think the soft tires have a little bit more pace, but as I said earlier on, the soft tires are going to start degrading fast, and we know how this track degrades the tires quite a lot. So the soft tires will be losing a lot of grip. We're going to see a lot of flat spots and drivers locking up because of the tire grip. So and meanwhile, the 2 Red Bulls and drivers that are on the harder compound tire are going to be faster. So this is going to be a super interesting race. And look at that, even Vapor Koenig in the Alfa Romeo can't even get past the Red Bull. I think he was a little too far behind to make the move. Anyway, but he's just got less of tire grip than the Red Bull car just ahead of him. So we'll have to see how that goes. He's using the DRS now, has almost full ERS. That's pretty incredible. 90% ERS, now 94%. That's going to fluctuate for quite some time, but he's kind of staying behind. And I think I know what this Alfa Romeo Vapor King in the of course the Alfa Romeo team, what they're doing is I think they're staying behind this Red Bull of Vapor coming up in the Red Bull, because the thing is that when you're staying behind in the slipstream, you have a little bit more pace. Then you can stay out there on the soft tires, but mistakes might bring into play, because when I'm right behind someone, every once in a while I get a little bit of like when they brake, I brake kind of thing. So he's got to make sure that he's focused enough to be able to stay behind this Red Bull and not brake. Because of course, what's interesting too is that they're on different tire strategies as well. This Red Bull car is gonna be braking a little bit later. The Alfa Romeo is probably gonna want to do the same thing because it's just natural. It's just normal to brake kind of the same distance as the car ahead. But he's got to remember to stay focused and brake a little bit sooner, so his tires don't fall off. And so what's interesting about that, we'll have to see how that goes. But he actually is climbing a lot of time. DRS has been enabled. I did not mention this. The leader just came into the pits on a set of medium tires. He's definitely going for that two-stop strategy. That puts Super Gamer up into the top positions and now leading this race. But now he's got Cam all over the back of him. I didn't mention that the Mercedes car did get past the AlphaTauri car, so those two have swapped positions. Oh dear, that looked like a tank stopper from the Red Bull car. And he lost out to the Alfa Romeo ahead. Looks like he may have almost lost the back end because when you put down the power to what's interesting. Okay, I'll go into this a little bit more. When you have the Red Bull, when you have a car and you come out of the corner, you put the power down too early, and maybe your tires are degrading a little faster. Your tires might be a little bit more hotter. And so when you're shifting up the gears, you just randomly spin out, and that's almost, I think, what the Red Bull there did. He thankfully saved it, but he's actually coming into the pits. And what's very interesting now is that he's coming into the pits on the medium tire. Vapor Ken in the he has a problem. The Red Bull team just sitting there. He's lost a lot of time there, but the Alfa Romeo of Vapor King of course, the Alfa Romeo team, he's on the soft tire leading this race. The driver that was on the slower compound, the harder compounded tire has just come into the pits, and the guy who had more degradation on his tire has stayed out. So that's very interesting. Maybe I didn't know something. Maybe the Red Bull could have had to pit for a reason. But look at this, Super Gamer with the faster tire advantage. He's going for the move on the hard tire Alfa Romeo car, and he sweeps past the inside and makes the move on the Alfa Romeo. Great pass by that Mercedes car. So he's up to 6th position. Now looking again. So traffic is a thing we have to think about as well. And actually, he's closing up to the leader as well, which is Rada in the Renault car. But traffic as well is something we have to think about, like Brown, Joe, and Buttons back as well. All three of those guys still at the pit. So these guys that are on the different strategy, they're going to have to go for an interesting pit stop here. We'll have to see how that goes. Looks like Rada, the provisional race leader, is now looking to make a move. He goes very wide in that section. That puts Super Gamer up into 5th as well. He got past Brown. Now he's looking to overtake as well. I'm going to ride on board with Super Gamer. He's got the DRS, got the slipstream, using the overtake button. Rada is riding that Ferrari all over, and now looking to get past as well. DRS has been enabled. The Mercedes looks to get past as well, but he can't make the move. Is he going to go for a dive bomb into the section? Looks like he's going to go for it. A nice move, and a very, very sturdy move from the Mercedes car, and looks like he makes the move and gets out in that position. Is that Brown? That is Brown off the track as well. That's the other Haas has just spun in that section. A lot of teams actually having a hard time out there. It looks like Haas is having a hard time. James left the session. The two McLarens having a hard time as well. They were up in some position. I didn't mention Trixie did retire from the Grand Prix because GP was up in the top 3. He's now down in 16th position, so he's going to want to get back up in positions and get a good result in the race. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll catch him a little later in this race. But the battle for the top positions is still going on. 2 Alfa Romeos, the Ferrari, and the Mercedes are kind of going for the moves here. Looks like Vapor King just came into the pits. And actually, what's interesting too is that Vapor Trench in the Mercedes car has got ahead of the Alfa Romeo car, which is very interesting. He's jumped them in the pit stop, so that's great news for the Mercedes team. Now he's looking to get even further ahead. He's looking to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo, which is the fastest lap set by Rada in the Renault car at 1:17 there, I do believe. So great lap there from the Renault team to get him up there into 2nd position now. He's now chasing after Buttons back, who will inherit that 1st position once he gets the move. It looks like Flash just wanted to try and get past the Ferrari there of Joe. And the Mercedes now of Vapor Trench. I'm right on board with him right now. He's getting all over the back of the Alfa Romeo, and the Ferrari. He's looking to make the move now to the outside line. Very good, which now turns into the inside line. and which is very interesting. It looks like he's going to make the move. He looks like he's going to make the move and absolutely makes the move. And the Mercedes car, oh, and it looks like there's a little bit of contact too. Fash almost went into the back of the Mercedes car, but the Mercedes of Vapier Trench moved up into 6th position and gets past those drivers there. And what's interesting too is that the Alfa Romeo has 11 lap-old hard tires, so he's going to have a different strategy there between those two drivers, and he's going to have a lot less tire grip. Now, the Mercedes of Trench is looking to overtake the Ferrari just ahead of him. We're going to have a battle between the two Alphas going side by side. Teammates, of course, don't ruin each other's races. They did that very nice, and King, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry about that. I'm not very good, as I said before. He's now up to 7th position, but now Snookster in the Racing Point looking to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo, of course, on 2 lap-old medium tires. Is closing up to the hard compound Alfa Romeo, who has 12 lap-old hard, so that's a very interesting strategy. Look at this as well. Vapier Trench looking to get ahead of the Ferrari car. Looks like he does. We have a nice move between these guys. Snookster looks to get past as well. The Alfa Romeo, that's a nice move. Just slots in front of that Alfa Romeo. I think that's the best word to use, because that was a very good move from the Racing Point car. Knuth and the Red Bull looking to get past as well on fresher tires as well. So these guys just kind of swamping his Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa just doesn't have enough tire grip. So unfortunately, Fash has to kind of stay behind and is unable to catch these guys because these guys are on faster strategies. Unfortunately, but maybe he's going for that different type of strategy. Maybe he's going for a one-stop strategy, and he can push these tires for as long as he can. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to see what his strategy is going to be. 13 laps into this Grand Prix. About, I want to say, 26 laps left. I think that's about how many. So this race has kind of just started, and already we're having a phenomenal action between all these drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Looks like Snookster is looking to get past in the stadium section on Joe. And oh, there's a little bit of contact, as it looks like Snookster looked like he was going to get past, looking to get the better exit out of that corner, and looking to get past by sweeping to the other side of the track, as unfortunately not made the move quite yet. So the Racing Point now makes the move and just flies past the Ferrari. Look at this, 3 wide into the straight now, as now Vapier Knuth also makes the move on the Ferrari, and now looks to make the move on the Racing Point. Close to banging wheels. These two are side by side, and it's absolutely phenomenal racing. They're so close to making contact, but they don't, and they're absolutely phenomenal. But the race has not ended quite yet for these two drivers. Vapier Trench looks to go down the inside. Sorry, not Vapier Trench. He's actually in 6th. Vapier Knuth in the Red Bull car up to 7th position now, has just overtaken the Racing Point. What a great move that was. Almost a dive bomb into that section. That section has a lot of dive bombing you can do. That's probably the best place where you can do dive bomb. Maybe into turn 1, but it's kind of a weird little place to make a dive bomb. But yeah, love making little dive bombs, I guess, into that section. Daniel Ricciardo made the move on Sebastian Vettel in 2016. Made a little bit of contact, but I guess that was more Vettel's fault. He kind of pushed him into that. But also Ricciardo just went for it, and drivers can do that. So it's proved that in the real life. It's also proved that here in the virtual world as well. The battle for the lead is continuing on. Super Gamer all over the back. We do have a move. I do believe that was Joe coming into the pits. That's why some drivers moved up some positions. So Joe coming into the pits, as well as Jay Prentice in the Racing Point, as well as James, who's just hopped in his car. Didn't mention that. He just hopped in his car and now is in the pits. Baker Shea, we haven't talked about him. The Williams team had a very hard start at this Grand Prix, both of them down to the last positions. Now he's only 1 place away from getting a point in this race. His strategy is working out. He's on 12 level medium tires, so he can take this for quite a while. Can he go for a one-stop strategy? Is that possible? Or actually, he's gonna have to go for a 2-stop strategy. Sorry, because he actually did pit in this race early on. So he's probably gonna go for the 2-stop strategy, move to the hard tire. Of course, this is probably the dominant strategy, going for that 2-stop strategy. But I think one driver that actually is going for the 1-stop is Buttons back. He's actually under pressure from Rada. He's actually leading the race. He actually comes in the pits. Very interesting. He's going on to a new set of tires. Is he going for the 1-stop strategy of going to the hards? I definitely think he could do that. So we'll have to see how that goes. The battle for the lead, though, I want to focus on that. Look at this. This is absolutely incredible. Super Gamer all over the back of the Renault car. Just a little too far back to make the move in the Renault. He makes an incredible dive bomb, but that's not wise to do that quite yet. Cam in the AlphaTauri AlphaTauri car is in 3rd position. He's trying to get ahead of the Mercedes car as well, so he's just kind of waiting for this battle to continue on. So we'll have to see how that plays out for all these drivers. Really looking forward to see that go. Vapor Trench in the other Mercedes car looking to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. These two going at it at the moment. So they're looking really good, these two. Of course, actually 3 drivers with the 3 drivers have the same name in the top 4, 5, and 6. Of course, Vapor 4th, 5th, and 6th. Of course, different names. So I'm just going to call them their last name so we can tell exactly who's the difference, you know. We'll have to see how that goes. But right now, I'm really hoping we have a great battle for first place, because Super Gamer really been impressive in this race. Mercedes really showing that they had the pace, of course, with both those drivers riding in the top 5. He's looking to get past, using the overtake. I don't think you can do that because you have basically no overtake button. You got to use it to your rest. It's the only option you can do. I'd say put Rich Mix on. That's probably the best you can do. That's probably where he's going with that. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, he's getting close to the Renault there. Look how close he is getting to that Renault car. So really looking strong to get past that Renault F1 team car. Super Gamer as well as in 2nd position, looking to overtake that Renault, and I'm really impressed. It's going to be really impressive to see if he can do that. We'll have to see how that goes, and of course, Cam is just watching these two battle it out, and I think what he's trying to do is, many drivers have done this, myself has done this, and many drivers as well, just waiting for the battle between the 2 drivers up front to kind of make a little mistake, even just a tiny one, and that lets Cam to retake the lead of the race. But this strategy of him doing this, I think he's doing this. That's why I'm thinking he's doing here. He's just sitting behind and waiting for those 2 to kind of make a little mistake. The thing that you got to remember is you got to be consistent. You got to be able to keep up with these guys and be consistent, because the minute you start losing time, it just all goes downhill and you start just losing seconds after seconds. And so you got to make sure to be able to close up. So hopefully Cam can stay within a few seconds. He's losing quite a lot of time to guys ahead. But look at this. Super Gamer, we're getting so close to the Renault car. I'm looking at the broadcasting camera there, and he's getting very close to the Renault. Look how close he is getting. Can't make the move quite yet. And we also have Vapor Knuff, who just made a move on Trench there in the Mercedes car. So those 2 swapping positions as well. Now look at this. Gamers, they're looking for a move to the inside. A little bit of a lockup by the race leader there, but has to stay behind. So great move. It's looking to be a great move. That's what I'm trying to say. So Super Gamer just waiting for... I think he's kind of doing the same strategy that Cam is doing here too. Super Gamer, what he's doing is he's just waiting behind to make the move in the Renault car. He's just so close to making that move, but just can't do it quite yet. And I think the other thing that he's thinking too is waiting for the Renault car to kind of make a little bit of mistake, and then just kind of slots in and just kind of wait. It takes that. But I think what he's also trying to do is having a little fun and overtaking, because we want to see racing. We don't want to just see it all be strategies. And unfortunately, right now, the real Formula 1 world is kind of like that, with Mercedes kind of dominating the session, and it's kind of all just down to strategies, and drivers just kind of racing around, kind of doing this. But the 2020 season for Formula 1 has actually been really good, and I'm really impressed, because you would think that Mercedes is the dominant car. They kind of had the dominant car, but you've actually seen like drivers like Max Verstappen get the win at the last Grand Prix. We've seen Lando Norris get a podium from McLaren. We've seen Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari that is not competitive. I'm even surprised. Of course, he's a regular driver to get onto the podium, but he's doing it in a non-competitive Ferrari, and his teammate Sebastian Vettel hasn't even been able to get points mostly in the race. Charles Leclerc is getting top 3 finishes. He's getting podium. Last time out in Britain, he got 3rd, and the next race he got 4th. So he's been doing absolutely incredible. I do believe he sits 4th in the championship now. I think he's just ahead of Albon, I do believe, and then I do believe Norris is 6th. So great performance by Norris as well. Yeah. We kind of moved topic and gone to the actual racing itself, but we'll have to see how that goes with Formula 1 right now. Of course, we're going to move on to Spain next week, and so I'm really excited for that. We'll touch on what's going on with all the teams and all that sort of thing in the real life world a little later when we get a chance, because I want to focus on battles at the moment, and the battle between 4th, 5th, 6th has grown. These 3 drivers sharing the first name as well, battling it out. So, and I didn't mention as well, Kaninj in the Alfa Romeo just got ahead of Trench in the Mercedes car. So very interesting, and what's interesting too is that all these drivers are on different tire percentages as well. Trench is on 10 lap old tires, Knuth is on 9 lap old tires, and Kaninj is on 8 lap old tires. So one little difference there, 1 lap difference between all 3 of these guys. But it's going to be an awesome race going forward. I mean, like, these 3 drivers going at it, I can't imagine a better race. And also we got Snookster also trying to get ahead of these guys as well. He's in that battle for that positions as well. And he's also got Buttons back, who's on fresh 3 lap old soft tires. He's going to be super fast going forward. We'll have to see how that goes. We got Fash, just got past the Ferrari. Oh, there's a little bit of contact, and the Ferrari's making a little bit of contact as well. And both Ferrari cars just getting past the Alfa Romeo there. So very interesting there. But yeah, the Ferraris did get past the Alfa there. Now they're going side by side. Look at that. But there was a little contact there. Didn't see exactly what happened. Yellow flags as James is just retired from the session. What exactly happened there? I think he was just so far behind and just couldn't do it quite yet. So super unfortunate for the Haas driver there. He's had a hard race so far. So unfortunately, yeah, he's retired from the race. Hopefully we'll see him back for round number 3. We'll have to see how that goes, though. Super Gamer all over the back of the Renault car, just ahead of him. He's got no overtaking button. Is he going to go for the move? The Renault blocks him off to the inside, but now he locks up. Look at that. Is he going to go for a switchback? As you can do. Look to the outside, then kind of slots in to go for an inside move. Looks to the inside, but can't make the move yet. A little bit of lockup for the Renault car, struggling with tire grip. As Super Gamer almost spins the car out of turn 6. You got to make sure to not pound the power down too early, as you can do that. There's always a corner on every single circuit where you want to make sure not to press the power down too early, or else you could spin. Another corner on this circuit is turn 17. You got to make sure when you're coming out of that corner to not put the power down too early, or else you can spin the car. It's very easy. Oh, there's a little bit of a spin there by Riddell. We were just talking about spins there, and the Renault car almost spun. Thankfully, they both avoided that from making contact. But Riddell, the race leader, just comes into the pits. I think he just had too much flat spots from locking up and with the tire issues that he's having. But now he's coming into the pits for a new set of medium tires. He's probably going to take this for a 2-stop strategy. But I think what I would have done is probably stayed out for a little bit longer. You still have a little bit more tire graph, but of course I'm the commentator, not the racer. Maybe the racer knows better, and I definitely think so, because Riddell definitely knows his car. He knows exactly what tire percentage he needs to have, and the thing is that he's on 11%, or 11. He was on 11 lap old medium tires, so you're gonna have a little issues with tire with tire degradation, you know. And so I mean, the thing is that pitting now might be the best strategy. And honestly, now I think about it, it actually kind of is a good strategy, because think about it. I mean, like, you're gonna pit eventually. You're gonna have to pit. And he's already struggling with degradation on his tires. If he pits now, he comes out in a good position in the points at the moment. And now he's going to start catching up to the drivers ahead, and he'll have enough tires to go to the end. So I think that's a dominant strategy from the Renault driver. I think it's definitely going to work out. Time has passed, because look at this. We're already 23 laps into this race. About, I want to say, 13 laps left, I want to say. I think about 13 laps left of this race, so very crazy. But yeah, crazy to see this. We have 13 laps left of this race. Super Gamer leads the way from Knuth and Kinj in the Red Bull and Alfa Romeo, respectively, cars. And Stutzler in 4th, as a lot of drivers come into the pits. Cam, who was running 2nd, now into the pits, comes out in about 7th position, I do believe. Trench in the pits as well will come out in 8th position. And we also got to think about Buttons back as well. He's on soft tires, starts 6 lap old, the only driver on soft tires besides Sam, who's on those soft tires. But of course, he's out of this race on lap 1, with only on corner 3 of lap 1. So super unfortunate for the Williams driver. But yeah, he was on those soft tires. He's the only driver that was on the soft tires. But of course, the drivers that are in this race Buttons back is the only driver that is on the soft tires now. What's very interesting is that could he take these tires in the end, or could he take them for another, I'd say, maybe 3 laps, maybe 4 laps. I'd say 4 laps. Take these tires for another 4 laps. So about they get 10 lap old, maybe 11 if you can push them a little bit more. Or maybe give a little bit of conserving to your tires. If it depends all on the driver, depends on the tires as well. If you feel that your tires are going off, then you pit. If you don't, then stay out, of course. So the thing is that what he's got to do is you have to pit again. I mean that's how it goes. And I mean, you know, and I mean, we've had many drivers, I've seen many drivers go on the soft tires with the same amount of laps, same amount of tire grip, and they didn't make it to the end. And so we definitely know that the Red Bull will have to pit again. The thing we have to consider though is what tire will he put on. And what's interesting too is we have to go to the very start of this race to when he put on those fresh tires. I don't remember what tires he started on. Did he start on the medium tires? He did. And he did exactly start the medium tires, because I remember the 2 Red Bulls did start medium tires. So what I was going to say, and this goes for all drivers that pit on the same compound of tires, when you go for a pit strategy and you go for a medium, maybe medium, say drivers like, I'm just going to use Super Gamer as an example here. What if Super Gamer started the medium tires, went to the medium tires, and then pit again for another set of medium tires and ended the race on the medium tires? A little confusing there, as then kind of, it was a fast little sentence there, but what my point is that if you stay on this medium, if you don't pit onto a different type of tire, you will be disqualified from the session, because that's the rules. You have to pit onto a different type of tire compound. Buttons back has already gone on the medium tires and is now on the soft, so he has the capability of going to the soft tires, and that's how I see it's going to happen for him. Is he's probably going to go for that soft tire when he feels it's right. So probably about lap 27 is probably when he'll pit for those soft tires. We'll have to see how that goes, but his teammate Canucks just comes in for the soft tire. 11 laps, he'll take those to the end, and that's a nice strategy there for the Red Bull. He comes out in 7th position, looking for a dominant performance here today. Super Gamer and Kaninj and Snookster all within about 7 seconds of each other. I want to say maybe about 8 seconds in between each other. They're all with about 14 lap old medium tires. Rida is on the 2 lap old medium tires and closing in on Snookster in the racing points. So what's interesting now is that can Rida take these to the end? He's gone for that bold strategy of closing in now. So now it's all about just closing in on the drivers ahead. He's looking to get a podium now, or maybe even the win, because he's probably going to do what Lewis Hamilton did at the Hungarian Grand Prix, as actually Super Gamer, the race leader, comes into the pits. I was going to say Lewis Hamilton, what he did at the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2019, he pit for Max Verstappen. He was battling Max Verstappen at the time, and Verstappen stayed out there, and Hamilton pit, and then he just gained a second per lap, and then eventually caught up and won the race. So I was thinking maybe Rida would do that, but actually we've had drivers just come into the pits. Super Gamer is on the soft tires now, as well as Snookster, Kaninj, and it looks like Buttons back is all coming in on his new set of soft tires. Trench has come out in 6th, which is a great performance from him as well, up to 6th position. Snookster looking to get ahead though. He's on those fresh soft tires, and Trench is on those medium tires. We'll have to see how that goes. Rida on the medium tires, 3 lap old tires. And what's interesting too is that Cam has actually jumped Super Gamer in the pit lane, but now Super Gamer has soft tires and he's only about 2 seconds behind. So this battle's continuing on. This battle is going to be absolutely insane going forward, because look at this. The soft tires are going to be faster tires than those medium tires that the 2 drivers are on in 1st and 2nd position. And the other thing that we have to consider too is that they are already used tires. Rida and Cam both on 2 lap old tires and 3 lap old tires. Super Gamer on fresher soft tires that just came into the pits. Now he's looking to pressurize those 2 drivers ahead. We'll have to see how that goes. And even just behind him is Vapier Knuff. He's also on softs. He's right behind the Mercedes. So these 2 going to have to see how they go. Oh, that's Cam! He was running in 2nd position. Oh my goodness, what has happened there? He almost hits back of Kaninj there. And I think he's coming into the pits there. Can-Am just spun at turn 17 there. I was telling you guys, you put the power down too early and you spin at that corner. That's exactly, I think, what Cam did there. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I'm assuming that's probably what's happened. He just left the session too, so that's super unfortunate. With 9 laps after this Grand Prix, he'll come out in 10th position, but that will be his AI ghost because he's left the session. So now, Brown is moving up to 10th probably, if he gets ahead. Well, yeah, that goes, look at this. He's closing in. Dramatic speed for that Haas car. He's closing in so much. We'll have to see how that goes. The battle, actually, for 13th is actually a pretty interesting one. Look at this. This is so close. The Super Gamer just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And what's interesting, too, is actually Knuth has actually got ahead of the Mercedes car. And you know what I was saying before is that Knuth has a great chance of getting a good result here today. And what's interesting too is that he's on soft tires that could last him to the end of the race, of course. And he's in second position, and he's on fresher tires than Rada, and is on the faster tires. So what's interesting is we were talking about Super Gamer versus Rada. That was the strategy. That was the battle that we were seeing. Knuth has just broken the battle and is now going for the race lead, and I definitely think he has the capability of doing so. I was talking about he's going to take those one-stop strategy kind of thing with the medium tires, starting the medium tires. That didn't really work out for him, it seemed. So now he's actually in the race, though. He's actually looking to get a good result in the race. Yellow flag, that looks to be an Alfa Romeo. That is fashion. Was running up in 8th position, has now just crashed. That is a super unfortunate thing for the Alfa Romeo. He's coming to the pits. Looks like he didn't spin where Cam did. He spun exactly where I don't think anyone spun in this race, but he spun, I do believe, at turn 15 at the Grand Stadium section. That section is absolutely phenomenal. Of course, was an actual stadium. Then they took it apart and made a Formula 1 circuit. In that, and they made it through the section. It was absolutely phenomenal. That's also where we see the podium celebrations as well. And I do believe when they had like soccer and stuff like that there, or I think it was baseball. I'm not that good with history, or not good with that. Not good with history for that far back, but to know exactly who played there or whatever. But yeah, what's interesting is that I think that they did that perfectly, and I think the podium celebrations there is actually from the original stadium. But enough history about that. We have a huge move. Knuth, I was talking about him for quite a while. He's just at the purple sector as well. Well done to him already. He's just overtaken Rada. Absolutely incredible for the race lead now. The Red Bull driver up at first position now, and he's on the fresher tires too. Rada really struggling. Super GT on, or not Super GT, sorry, Super Gamer on the soft tires. And the reason why, guys, I broke up my sentence here, but the reason why I call him Super GT is because I have another friend that is called Super GT, and I commentate on some of his races. So, sorry about that, I get his name mixed up. But anyway, yeah, Super Gamer in the Mercedes car, 3rd position. Looking to overtake the Renault car of Rada in 2nd position at the moment. He's on mediums that are 6 laps old. He still has a chance of winning this race, but he's going to have a lot of pressure because, look at that, Knuth is at the fastest lap of the race, 2 seconds quicker than the driver before. And you believe that was Rada with the 117. He's just broken that with the 115. That's 2 seconds quicker than the other driver. So, and he's also broken the lap record set by Valtteri Bottas in 2018 of 118.741. So I mean, that's a little bit, that's crazy to see that Knuth has actually done it. He's a brilliant driver right now, and he's really showing that all these drivers are absolutely brilliant. I think the tire strategies really hurt a lot of the drivers like Rada. I think what happened there is Rada pit a little too early, and unfortunately had those medium tires that are 7 laps old. He's now got Super Gamer on soft star 3 laps old, just behind him. So the tire strategies really hurt Rada there, but he still has a chance of getting 1st position. Knuth's really running away with it, but you never know. We could see an unpredictable thing happen. Of course, things happen in the very last lap of races in British Grand Prix, as actually Super Gamer just gets past Rada. Was pretty easy pass with the DRS. We don't see it very often at that section. It's a very short DRS zone, like Spain and even I do believe Bahrain as well has a short DRS zone as well. It's a shorter DRS zone. But yeah, what I was saying before, drama can happen over the very last lap. We've seen it in Formula 1's history so many times. Lewis Hamilton just recently, British Grand Prix, leading the entire Grand Prix, 1st position, few corners to go, was coming into Copse, I do believe. This is where it happened. He got a puncture, and his teammate a few laps before got a puncture as well. They were leading 1-2 the entire race. Mercedes, that was an absolutely crazy ending to a Grand Prix. We had a puncture, limped it home, and with his team telling him that Verstappen was closing, the seconds in literal seconds, saying like that they were actually his race engineer was Bono, which just said 7, 6, 5 for Verstappen coming in, and that's how close. And to see Lewis Hamilton cope with that, and also cope with not losing the car or anything like that, or like breaking the car in some way where the tire could immediately explode, you know. He did brilliantly in that race and really deserved that victory as well. So he actually did take that victory with a puncture. It was absolutely phenomenal. So we can see something like that happen today. That's possible. We'll have to see how that goes. But I actually want to quickly mention something. Mexico Grand Prix, phenomenal race. It really is. I want to quickly mention a few things that have happened here in the past. 1992, Michael Schumacher, and this is something that we have to talk about as well, because 70 years this is kind of marking the year of 70 years in Formula One. That's why it's called the British Grand Prix. The second one was called the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, because it's been 70 years of Formula One. Michael Schumacher, one of those champions that goes into the history books. Of course, the most successful champion with 7 victories, 7 championships to his name. Lewis Hamilton this year looking to equal that and get 7 championships. That would be absolutely incredible. But it all started here in 1992. Schumacher took his very first podium, I do believe for Benetton. Took his very first podium. It was absolutely incredible. In 1992, he did it. Took his very first podium, and that started everything of Michael Schumacher's dominance. Of course, with Benetton taking his 2 world championships in 1994 and 1995, and then of course taking the 5 world championships between 2000 and 2004 with Scuderia Ferrari. So Schumacher, it all started here at Mexico, taking his first ever podium with Benetton in 1992. And of course, 1967, we gotta talk about that. Jim Clark won the Mexican Grand Prix. But what's interesting about that race as well, and this is something that we have to talk about with Jim Clark himself, is just he did this with not using his clutch because the clutch broke the entire race, and he still won it. That was absolutely incredible. You never really see that from Formula One drivers, even here today, because of course this was back in 1967. But Jim Clark, it was absolutely incredible race because he did not use his clutch the entire race, and of course in those older cars you had to be able, when you're shifting, you had to be able to use the clutch to shift, because that was how it was. And Jim Clark didn't even use the clutch, and he still won the race, and that was absolutely incredible. And you may think, like, how is that possible? Well, I don't have an answer. Only Jim Clark does, and he actually did that. So really it was incredible. So brilliant victory for the British driver in 1967. Of course, Jim Clark holds the most wins for around here, 4 to his name, and also his constructor, the team that he won those victories with, I do believe, was Lotus with 4 as well. We don't see that very often. It's usually Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari, or Williams, or McLaren that had the most victories in Formula One around circuits. Here, it's Lotus. We don't see that very often. Of course, Lotus pulled out of Formula One in 2015 and was rebranded of Renault. That's a whole different story to talk about, but yeah, it's very interesting to see that. But yeah, Jim Clark, master of Mexico, so very interesting. Anyways, battle for the lead. Look at this. Rida looking to get past Super Gamer. He was closing in quite a lot as we were talking a little bit about history. This was incredible. Rida, second position now, has just overtaken Super Gamer, and I think I know why. So we were talking about the Super Gamer has fresher tires than Rida in the Renault car ahead. The Renault car now has fresher tires, and the reason why I say that is because Super Gamer is struggling with those soft tires because they degrade a lot faster. Rida is probably going to be on faster tires because those mediums don't degrade as fast. So Super Gamer is going to be struggling. He's got the pace though, and we'll have to see if he can overtake the Renault car with only 3 laps to go. We'll have to see how that goes. Canuck, though, we got to talk about him. Now coming in the stadium section, absolutely incredible race he's had. Of course, it's very unpredictable. This race could end in tears for Red Bull. Hopefully he doesn't. It's all about consistency now. Just hold off that gap. He's got a 7-second gap to the car behind. So, I mean, he's just got to hold it on to be able to win this race. We'll have to see how that goes, but yeah, he's in first position, and the battle between second place is continued on. We'll have to see how that goes. Kaninj in the Alfa Romeo, still fourth position. Looking very fast, but look at this, Super Gamer looking to make the move on the Renault car, a brilliant move on the Mercedes. It looks to make the move on the number 88 car, moves ahead of the Renault car, just ahead, and he gets ahead. Absolutely phenomenal racing between these two drivers. The Renault car all over the back now. Look at this, he's getting close. He doesn't have enough ERS to overtake the Mercedes. I do believe he has DRS. Actually, no, he doesn't, because the detection point came up before Rajah was overtaken, so Super Gamer will probably have the DRS. It's all in the past now. Super Gamer has got past the Renault, but we saw this before as Rajah got past the Mercedes, and I was saying Super Gamer is probably going to get past, but now Rajah could get past the Mercedes now. Let's see how that goes. Battle behind though. Look at this, the battle between the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Vapier Trench in the Mercedes car, and F1 Buttons back 22, the Red Bull car in 7th position, battling away. They're on similar tire strategy to Super Gamer and Rajah, which is very interesting. So, very interesting to see that. We'll have to see if that works out for both of these guys and who will finish ahead. Button has the fresher tires, I do believe, and is getting ahead. But of course, like I said before, degradation could play a big key in this race. We'll have to see how that goes. Look at this. Looks like Vapier Shade just got past the Ferrari cars. Look at that. Rajah gets past Super Gamer for second position, and looks like Super Gamer is going to fight back a little bit of lockup by the Renault car, and he stays behind and has to wait for another day. Oh, and almost loses the car as well. But yeah, I did want to mention Vapier Shea after Rajah makes. I think he's actually going to have to stay behind Super Gamer for the race lead. Looks like this. Button's got past Trench there, and Button has got past the Mercedes car. Very interesting. Vapier will be able to get past the Red Bull as well. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, Vapier Shea real quick. In the Williams car, I was telling you guys at the very start of this race, he was not in a position to be able to get any points. He was at the very back of the grid. The two Williams cars were at the very back. He's now running in 9th position and on for great good points. But this man, Vapier Knuff, through the final two turns, 16, now 17, had the dominant strategy, comes across the line. It's Knuff that wins the Mexican Grand Prix. What a phenomenal race here, round number 2. It is Knuff with the dominant strategy here today to take the win for Red Bull. What a fantastic win here today. Red Bull have done it again. Max Verstappen proved it in 2017. He did it in 2018. Now Knuff on the virtual world has won it for Red Bull. Super Gamer, fantastic performance from him. Finishes in second position. Rajah with the unfortunate to see that he wasn't able to with the tire strategy. He just didn't have enough for tire strategy. He comes home for a podium though. That's a dominant performance from him as well. Kaninj in the Alfa Romeo sits fourth with Trench rounding off the top 5. Button must have had a problem there because I think he has a penalty because Snookster is up to 6th position and Trench in 5th. I think Snookster may have had a penalty as well. So Trench finishes 5th, Snookster 6th, Button 7th. Kasu GT comes across the line to finish 8th. Vapier Trench, or not Vapier Trench, Vapier Shea in the Williams car rounds off for 9th position. What a dominant performance from him. We didn't think that he was going to get any points here today. And Ferrari with Ryans actually doesn't get any points because look at this. Jade Prentice gets 10th position for Racing Point. It's actually, no, it's another Ferrari with time penalties being served. It's actually Joe who gets a point here today for Scooter Via Ferrari. What a great race from our drivers here today. That's going to be it. Driver of the day, who we got to say? We got to talk about driver of the day. I got to give it to this man. The race is giving it to him as well. Knuff for Red Bull Racing. What a dominant performance. He's done incredible. So, I mean, like, the Red Bull team must be proud. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible for Red Bull Racing here today. Mercedes finished 2nd position, Renault 3rd, so it's Red Bull that finished on the top step here today. Adrian Newey sharing the podium for the Red Bull team, and look at that, the champagne being sprayed all over the podium by our top 3 here today. It's Knuff for Red Bull, 1st position, Mercedes driver, 2nd place of Super Gamer, and it's Rajah rounding off the top 3 for Renault F1 team. Knuff, what a dominant performance as well. 1st position for Red Bull. Also the fastest lap of the race, 1:15.727. That is a great lap there. A second faster than the drivers behind. Really incredible. Well, what a race here today. Round number 2 here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rico Circuit Mexican Grand Prix. phenomenal race. It really was. Here, it's been just dominant. I have to say, I mean, there's nothing, I'm kind of just speechless, honestly. It's basically, there's nothing really else to say. Just a superb performance from every single one of these drivers here today. This was the FPSL, and this is the FPSL League. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I think we're going to round off the stream here. Guys, thank you so much for having me here as well to commentate. It really is a big pleasure. It really was incredible. And everyone here that raced, what a dominant performance from all you. You did absolutely incredible. So, great performance from everyone. Here's the Mexican Grand Prix on F1 2020. We're going to round off the stream here. Guys, thank you so much for watching the commentary here today of the Mexican Grand Prix. Subscribe to their channel. Absolutely incredible. So subscribe to the channel. Really helps out them to get a good result and just to promote their channel as well. So please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's called Formula Jonah. That will be, I'm going to be posting links as well on other leagues as well. So I'll be back on that. And hopefully I can commentate on this league again, because it really was just absolutely phenomenal. So guys, thank you so much for watching round number 2 of the Mexican Grand Prix here today. I'm BroomHandle914. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video, of course, if you enjoyed it. That was the last thing I wanted to say. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.